Hello, everyone. Welcome to this special LinkedIn Live as well as YouTube live session on a topic that is shaping the future of technology and business. That is challenges in AI governance and data privacy. I am Damodar Sahu, co-founder and chief growth officer at Data Safeguard. It's an absolute honor to have you all here. Today's session is especially meaningful as we are on the eve of Data Privacy Day 2025, that is on January 28, 2005. This is a moment to reflect on the critical importance of safeguarding data. Data means PII, your personally identifiable information, PHI, protected health information, and PFI, your personal finance information. In an era where AI technologies are driving innovation, at an unprecedented pace, and there is a data breach in every 39 seconds. We are at a fascinating crossroads. On the side, one side, we have groundbreaking advancement in generative AI, predictive analytics, and synthetic data. On the other, we are facing heightened scrutiny around privacy, compliance, and the ethical use of technology. The question is how do we balance these, right? To help us explain this, I am thrilled to welcome Sandesh Jadhav, a seasoned data protection officer and a respected leader in privacy and compliance. He's a dear friend to me as well. Sandesh, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Damodar. Thanks for having me here.
Welcome. Sandesh, let's start by unpacking the current state of AI governance and data privacy. From your experience, what are the most pressing challenges organizations face today?
See, the most basic challenge is like if you want to make your AI model mature, you should have maximum data sets, right? Maximum data sets from the crowdsource, like maximum population, maximum data set, so that my model will be trained very much maturely. But now, in order to do this, am I invading the privacy of my user, my privacy of my data subjects? So this is the one of the most challenge. And previously we have to abide by only data protection laws, means cyber security laws, that how to
Yeah.
secure my particular software or my AI ML model in order so that data shouldn't get breached. Then came the era of privacy, so that whatever data you have used to make in the process of making that model, so that PI data or PHI data or PFI data, as you mentioned correctly, that shouldn't get breached, or that shouldn't get misused. Breach means not only leaking, or someone is getting hacking,
Yeah.
or someone is intruding and stealing your data. It doesn't mean that. It means privacy breach means what? This particular data has been used for training my model, for training my AI model. Now, without, apart from training model, this particular PI data has been also used to make some bias against me, or make some
Yeah.
decision, or make some judgment against me, and using the same data against me. For
Yeah.
example, I have given some of the opinion poll about one political party.
Right.
Now, the same data will be used to train the AI model for some legitimate purpose. Now, this data will be used uh, to change my opinion about that personality, or creating some deep fake videos and
Yeah.
showing it to me. We have seen this as a real life example,
Yeah.
during the elections, even in US, that how my PI data has been got exploited by companies like Facebook, and even Facebook has
Right.
to face a lot of legal repercussions in this. They have to pay almost close to a few $1 billion of as a penalty, because the data of Facebook, which was supposed to be the PI data, it got invaded, and it was not got theft. The
Right.
Facebook has given this data, like, as a patterns of this particular user. Means my PI data got utilized. So
Right.
this type of challenges we are facing, like, how to train my model, how to get the efficient uh, output, and how at the same time I'm going to comply with the AI governance law, which are keeps on coming now. Like in US also the bill got passed, which is the implementation date is January 17 or 15th, I guess, in 2025. So EU AI Act has come. In our India, the AI framework has been published by MIT. In fact, in India, our Maharashtra government has come up with this AI
Okay.
policies. So
Mhm.
keep up the pace with this AI governance policies, the privacy policies is like, little bit of challenge which I face.
Great. And anything you would like to touch upon at this moment on the data privacy and AI? I mean, the current landscape of AI and data privacy.
So the AI landscape is keep on evolving. Like,
Hmm.
so far we were knew only about GDPR, CCP, but
Yeah.
in India, like DPDP Act has come, and after
Yeah.
DPDP rules, the implementation of this rules has become like, a lot of. I mean, government is very serious about it, and very stringent policies has been put up. So the
Right.
landscape is evolving of PII or privacy, but the
Yeah.
more thing which, like, the organizations which are working, or whenever we are getting our customers data or we want to give
Hmm.
our data to vendor, what are the things which we are checking in this privacy landscape is ensuring compliance not only about the data protection or data privacy laws across the jurisdiction, but also sometimes these laws are getting overlap with the local laws. For example, in India we are having contract labor act. So there are a lot
Hmm.
of PI information we need to disclose to the government as well as to the principal employers. Now, this kind of sector-specific regulations are also there. For example, DORA Act. Now,
Hmm.
DORA Act is a Digital Operation Resiliency Act, which is a EU regulation that enacted, and which will be, I think, again on say 17th January 2025, if I'm not mistaken, and that is the date to
Yeah.
comply with that DORA. So, sector-specific law. Now, like, putting this all law in place, we should also know we should also let our data subject know that what are the transparency mechanism, because we should inform our inform consent, huh? We should
Yeah.
inform our data subject that for what purpose I'm collecting your data. So lack of AI transparency, which is like, is a bit of the challenge in current landscape, but in AI governance we should put some kind of, like, transparent algorithms. Current is like,
Okay.
few of the opaque algorithms for, like, many AI system operate at as a black box. Like, it's making very difficult for the decision making process to the stakeholders or the regulators. For example, if I am applying for insurance, say for
Hmm.
example my PHI data I'm disclosing to them, based on my PHI data, I'm like, going to reject the insurance, but no one is going to tell me why my insurance is going to get rejected.
Right.
So, say for
Hmm.
example,
Hmm.
I'm getting my personal information. Do you smoke or not? So, if I tick on yes, I smoke, but there should be someone from AI, or AI model should be like, a human intervention should happen, saying that if you quit smoking, and if you confirm to us that, like, since past 90 days or since past 120 days you have not smoked at all, then we might consider to giving you policy. So such
Hmm.
kind of
Hmm.
transparency has to be there. So it's, like, you need to strike a balance between our PHI, disclosing PHI data, PI data, PFI data, or for
Right.
example, if I'm asking what is my credit score, yeah, I'm disclosing my PFI data. So based on that,
Hmm.
my it shouldn't happen that AI model is taking decision that his CIBIL score is so and so. That's the reason. Please reject his loan. There might be possibility that, like, dispute is going on between me and my creditor. Like, the kind of CIBIL score which they have put up in a CIBIL system, I might not agree to that, and there is a dispute going on. So such type of transparency or accountability challenges, or, like, insufficient documentation,
Correct.
these kind of challenges are there in AI, and those challenges has to be strike a balance between my disclosing my privacy information and operability of my AI governance.
Well said about the transparency, how the organization should balance AI innovation with the need of explainability or the fairness, rightly you mentioned.
Yeah.
So, my another follow-up question, like regulations like GDPR or let's say California Consumer Protection Act, CCPA, now I think CPRA, and India's DPDP also you mentioned, right, coming into play. How can business ensure global compliance without compromising innovation?
So see, thin line. I mean, only delta is changing. Like
Okay,
whatever acts you have mentioned of
right.
privacy, like LGBT, CCPL, CPRA,
Hmm.
EU, and now our newly passed DPTP Act. So
DPDP.
delta is again the basic principles are same. What are these basic principles? Like take minimal data. The
Yeah.
data minimization is the principle. Huh? Don't like for example, I am going to any shop nowadays as a cafe. If I want to get a bottle, he want to make a bill of 25 rupees or 30 rupees, and he want my phone number.
Hmm.
I don't know why. He's saying, sir, it's mandatory to make a bill system. So our entire economy is, I mean, not only it's the responsibility of the DP or CCOs, the people who are developing system, they should ensure that whenever I'm making the billing system, I
Yeah.
shouldn't make few of the mandatory requirements. Like one of the telecom operator company, I won't name any
Yeah.
company now, but if you want to buy a SIM card of that company, the Aadhaar card is mandatory.
Hmm.
And their process starts by clicking in the your photo of the Aadhaar card. So
Hmm.
such kind of data minimization techniques should be applied. So this kind of techniques are there in all the laws. Now, when
Right.
I'm going
Yeah.
cross border, like
Hmm.
if I want to comply with US law or EU law or LGBT law, so the underlying principle is same, that take minimal data, give the confidence to the data subject that his
Yeah.
data is going to be used only for the purpose for which it is got collected, and
Right.
then give him the rights to correction of the data, take his consent, and then also give him the confirmation that whenever you want me to delete the data, I'm going to delete the data. This
Right.
entire streams to standards has come up because this streams has requested Facebook to delete the data,
Hmm.
and Facebook has not entertained him. Facebook has rejected his request.
Hmm.
So such kind of freedom we should give to our data subject. And now this underlying principle is the same. There are few penalties related clauses which are differing. There
Yeah.
are few data protection clauses which are differing. For example, you are putting new SCC. In that
Hmm.
new SCC, they are putting take and org measures. Now, even in our DPDP rules, they have mentioned about take and org measure, but there is
Yeah.
no strict compliance. Say, for example, NIST framework is there, or ISO 27000 framework, or SOC 2 type 2 compliance you should abide to. So these kind of mandatory requirements are not there, because even lawmakers are, know that technology is changing after every 3 months,
Yeah.
and that's the reason they have purposely put this as a open ended. They have not want to put it very prescriptive kind of. So their nature is open ended. So that's
Got it.
the so that's how we can go ahead and put up our laws cross border, like data privacy compliance as well as AI governance compliance can be achieved.
Superb. That is really fascinating, and it is clear that every organization must think beyond compliance and truly embed privacy and governance into their culture and technologies. Thank you, Sandesh. Let's get into the segment two, solutioning and best practices. What does it mean? Now we have outlined the challenges. Let's talk about a little bit solution. What actionable step can business take to strengthen AI governance while ensuring privacy compliance?
So maybe we can start with our strategies, putting
Yeah.
up the SOPs and framework. We can call it as a proactive compliance,
Hmm.
invest in compliance monitoring tool and align those practices with both current as well as anticipated regulation. For example, a few of the EU AI Act has been already got enacted, but there are few artificial intelligence laws which are
Hmm.
on way. DPTP rules, they have given now the guidelines for the implementation. Now the exactly fixed compliance date has not come. So we shouldn't be sit idle saying that there is no compliance date and that's the reason I don't have to start implementing. We shouldn't do
Hmm.
like that. We should start implementation of that because the underlying principle is what? The principle is our data should be secure, PI compliant. Like
Hmm.
my data subjects data shouldn't get intruded or it shouldn't get misused. Okay. So let's not wait for anyone else to mandate these dates on us that you should be compliant or you should implement this measure by so and so date. Let's not wait for that. Do proactive compliance, like invest in those tools, as I said earlier, and you can put up the anticipated regulation. Though those are in draft stage. Like our DPDP rules are in draft stage. So many of our
Yeah.
organization with whom we are dealing, they are saying these rules are still at draft stage. We are not been mandated to implement,
Hmm.
but we have asked them to do it, and we are also checking them by assessments. Say, for
Yeah.
example, AI impact assessment or privacy impact assessment.
Yeah.
So this kind of assessment or AI audits you can carry out. Then
Compliance audit. Hmm. Hmm.
yeah, enhance we can enhance AI governance by transparency, accountability, or ethical oversight, or
Yeah.
include the bias audits also, or explainability tools also. You have mentioned a few minutes
Yeah.
before about the explainability into AI system. Like
Right.
you
Hmm.
can
Hmm.
choose interpretable models whenever it's a possible. Use simpler models like linear regression or the decision trees for application wherever the transparency is critical. We can prioritize this kind of interoperability.
Hmm. Hmm.
Or post explainability tools can be used like SHAP or Lime, or human centered design can be done like build system with user friendly interfaces where, as
Hmm.
I've given example of the insurance, where human can clearly communicate while AI decision is there to do. Say for example, you go to MACD, you choose
Hmm.
this menu from that, but they say like sir, if you can club with this, it will be beneficial for you, something
Yeah.
like that. So like this kind of technology, human centered design, or embed fairness into development, or bias detection and mitigation, or develop tool for transparency also. We can develop in-house tools like visualization or feature
Yeah.
importance storing or decision path tracking. So this kind of tools can be used, and we can achieve our desired results.
Great, great inputs. So, from a leadership perspective, let's say chief privacy officer, let's say, or DPOs, data protection officer, or chief risk officer, chief compliance officer point of view, how important it is to create a culture where privacy and governance are prioritized across all level of the organizations.
Yeah. See, it's very much important because CISO's role or
Hmm.
Chief Privacy Officer or DPO's role is no longer has been put up at behind the curtains. Like previously, only business team used to
Yeah.
go in front of client and they used to take decision, and in the back end we used to design the secure system. It's no longer the case now. Even in a business making decision, that the role of DPO or role of CISOs are
Yeah.
utmost important. So whenever businesses are happening, we should, as a privacy leader, inform our peers, whoever are bringing the business for my organization. I should inform them that there is a what kind of challenges are there.
Right.
For example, if I'm bringing some data from the cross border to India, then what are the repercussions of it if the data get breached? If the data get breached of one
Hmm.
of the simple client, only that client is not affecting, that our inter-country relations are getting spoiled, because then any company, say for example, it's a EU country. Now, in one of the companies' data get invaded or leaked,
Hmm.
then EU will stop giving this data to India, saying that these regulatory measures or take an org measures are not competent enough to safeguard our data.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now this will impact entire business of not only of that particular account but all the accounts.
Correct.
So as a
Hmm.
leadership, you should know that what you are dealing with. You are dealing directly with
Hmm.
the business. you should ensure and assure the customer how it's legal to get your data into my country cross border, and how it's legitimate to process the data by
Yeah.
putting all the take and org and legal measures in the place. Okay, so this kind of philosophy of
Hmm.
privacy, you should explain to your CIOs, your CTOs, and to your sales team or to your
Yeah.
pre-sales team, and also to your SMEs. Like in my previous organization, when I was doing audit, it
Hmm.
was a SME who was making AI models, and he was like Python expert, AI ML
Right.
expert.
Hmm.
With
Hmm. Hmm.
him, there was a team of Oracle and Java. They were doing absolutely fantastic job, but they were saying
Hmm.
that under our SOW, they have not asked us to put any security measure like VAPT,
Hmm.
penetration testing, or black box, gray box testing is not part of our SOW, so we are not going to do it. But I
Okay.
said that then, but you are accountable. Whenever
Hmm.
you are buying a car, the car manufacturer doesn't say like you take care of your own safety. Car manufacturer is giving you safety belt, ABS, the airbag. All these
Yeah.
features come along with
Absolutely.
car. Whenever
Absolutely.
you are buying a car, it's mandated that safety and security measures should come with it. So similar
Absolutely.
way, whenever my
Yeah.
SMEs are developing any tool or developing any product, it's like we have to explain them that your product should come like inbuilt security feature. No one should
Hmm.
have added to as an liability or extra scope of work in your agreement or in your solution document. So this kind of culture has to be developed, amongst all the technical people. You must be knowing that when cyber security has started,
Hmm.
our regulators like RBI, DGCA, IRDA, they have
Hmm.
mandated it. After mandation also, it took us almost a decade long to reach up to the mature process at which stage we are. So similar way, this culture has to get penetrated not only
Yeah.
amongst the DPOs or CISOs or the decision maker of the board of directors, but this culture has to be penetrated
Absolutely.
across the CFO or CHRO or CDOs,
Yes.
all across the line of the CXOs.
Absolutely. Great, great point, Sandesh. So, to our audience, what challenges or the best practices have you encountered when it comes to AI governance? Please share your thoughts in the comment. We will try to answer you after this live session. So, thank you, Sandesh. Let's get into the future of AI governance and data privacy. So, what trends do you foresee shaping AI governance and data privacy over the next few years? Let's talk about the future.
So we are already in a generative AI
Yeah.
world. So models such as these GPT models, they will become more sophisticated.
Hmm.
And they will enable the creation for the media world. That is going to happen for sure.
Okay.
Content creation or personalized marketing or the digital marketing or the visual in environments, they are going to heavily rely on such a GPT kind of application. And the
Hmm.
challenges which we are going to give is misinformation or deep fakes or ethical
Yeah.
concern,
Hmm.
or the copyright issues. Like a lot of research scholar has started writing the thesis and their research paper based on IO tools. So our
Hmm.
entire research area, whatever the I'm more concerned about the research field. In the research field, previously research scholar used to use their own manual if brain and put up all the manual efforts to put a philosophical
Right.
thought in
Hmm.
their research paper. Nowadays it's all auto generated. So that is the one of the thing which I'm seeing in coming years. Then AI democratization is
Okay.
train kind of tools and platform which makes AI accessible to non-expert. That will be growing now. As I have given example of a research scholar, but
Yeah.
for example, if someone is into small business and he want to develop the FICO kind of model, and
Hmm.
then he's no longer going to be rely on expert from finance or taxation. Okay,
Hmm.
or no code or low code AI platform. So in this, like, pre-trained models will come. More and more user-friendly interfaces and customization is going to come. AI for personalization is going to come. Recently, I was reading
Hmm.
an article about individuals mRNA vaccine.
Hmm.
mRNA vaccines are the vaccines which has been created within a week's time when COVID has hit up. So
Right. Hmm.
mRNA are like, same, they have developed on RNA. RNA are
Hmm.
similar structures like our DNA. Okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
So once you know the human DNA and RNA structure, you can create the mRNA vaccines. So
Yeah.
this kind of personalization AI is going to happen. So the vaccination, so the pharma industry, the
Hmm.
bioinformatics and nanotechnology industry, or medical industry, and IT industry, current line is a thin, though
Yeah.
that thin line is going to evaporate now. I mean, in today's era, that line is still there. Though the line is thin, but that line is still there. That line is going to get evaporate. So the healthcare section is going to change. I mean, it's going to be a revolution in healthcare and medical and pharma, like this kind of domains
Right. Right. Right.
or the
No. No.
tailored
Great. Yeah. Yeah.
tre-
Yeah.
treatments. Integration of AI and IoT also is going to happen.
Hmm. Hmm.
Ethical decision making. So these kind of like trends I can see.
Super. One follow-up question before we wrap up. Do you think synthetic data, I think you have already mentioned something, but do you think synthetic data could be a game changer in addressing privacy concerns while still enabling AI innovations?
Yeah, so that is going to be a game changer. See, previously, I mean, we've been there, done that. Like,
Yeah.
whenever we used to do any audit of, say, for example, we used to not do that on the production system. We used
Hmm.
to do it in, like, in UAT environment. And
Right.
many of the time in UAT environment, we used to use the synthetic data only.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay, and synthetic data is like was replicating in size, capacity, and
Yeah.
its nature pattern. It was used to give us the flair of the real-time data. So we have done similar experiment in the era of cybersecurity. So
Hmm.
in
Hmm.
this, the synthetic data is going to become a game changer because in synthetic data, now the AI ML model developers they can claim that this data is not real and this data
Yeah.
is synthetic, and that's the reason whatever tools like whatever specialized AI models whichever I'm using, maybe in industries like finance, legal, healthcare, or education,
Yeah.
this is a synthetic data. Hence, the AI governance or AI law is not going to be applied. So, this kind of countermeasure or this kind of argument they can do. If, like, in a case of law, this can be the data privacy invasion or
Hmm.
AI governance invasion. If someone is challenging, then I'm having counter argument of using the synthetic data for such a purpose.
Great inputs. So, to everyone watching this, how do you envision AI governance and data privacy evolving in your own industry? Drop your thoughts in the chat and let's also hear your perspective. Uh, so, as we wrap up, so here are the key takeaway from today's session. The interplay between AI, innovation, and data privacy demands a fine balance of ethics, transparency, and compliance. Organizations must adopt privacy by design principles, empower cross functional teams, and build a culture of trust. Looking ahead, I feel AI governance will be increasing shaped by new regulations, ethical framework, and technological advancements like the synthetic data. So, Sandesh has clearly articulated and mentioned how AI governance, privacy play hand in hand. A huge thank you, Sandesh, for sharing such invaluable insights with us today. And thank you, all of you, tuning in and engaging with us. Your questions and participants, absolutely, it is a great. Please go ahead and ask all your questions. We will try to answer it. And if you found today's session insightful, please share your thoughts in the comments and tag someone who might be benefited from these insights. And don't forget, tomorrow, I mean, in Indian context, today is already January 27. January 28 is the Data Privacy Day, and let's use this as an opportunity to reflect, educate, and commit to prioritizing privacy and ethical AI in everything we do. Until next time, take care and lead with trust and purpose. See you all soon. And thank you, Sandesh, taking your time from your busy schedule to talk to us today. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
My
Thank you,
pleasure.
everyone.